Hello YouTube, it's FrayedHero giving you guys my Aqua Force deck profile. This is after set 11. This is the build I currently run, and I wouldn't suggest using some of these cards, but it's just part of my playstyle and preference. I use the starting Vanguard Eric because I actually just prefer grade 3 searches usually depending on the deck, especially in Aqua Force. I've always liked it. It pretty much always saved me from a grade lock when I needed it the most, at least for threes. And you'll see a little later why I also run Eric. The only other starting Vanguard I like to use personally in my builds is the Advanced Party Brave Shooter, because it's the 8k booster if you're using it to support an early attack of your rear guards. I actually main deck one copy of these because I don't maximize grade 3s in this deck at the standard 8 or semi-standard, depending on how you are. But yeah, so for the grade 1s, I run 4 Theo because this is pretty much not archetype based, so you can afford to run 8k vanillas and not even be punished by it at all, and you get to hit numbers with your transcore, and it's just a nice thing to ride turn 1 if you don't want to get rushed by 7ks. The 4 perfect guards, I used one different copy because I kind of like its art, but not enough. I still prefer that more. I just like the coloring. And I always see myself getting this like turn 1. I don't know why. Just some weird thing that happens a lot. And then I run triple Brave Shooter. I kind of would swap that out for that if I was pretty much anybody else, but my reasoning behind main decking this is because it's a 10k shield in hand, and it's an 8k vanilla booster, as opposed to the 10k attacker, but only when it's within the first 2 attacks. And since I'm running Glory Transcore, I have 2 damage inflictors, in case people don't want to get you ultimate break. And I run 1 light signals Penguin Soldier because it's like it's pretty much a draw trigger, and it's a decent booster behind the Vanguard. For my grade 2s, I run 4 Lazarus, same reasoning behind Theo, because you can afford to run 10k vanillas. It's nice to be, it's nice to ride that, especially when you have like the Link Joker units now that are on 9ks that need to hit. And then I run 3 Tier Knight Lucas. It's a pressure hitter, counterblast 2 to draw, so I guess if they don't want you to get that plus off the counterblast, they'll start to guard you a lot, which helps you out in the end, wasting their guard when you can Glory Maelstrom endgame more. And then I run 3 Titan of the Beam rifles because of its fact that it's an 11k rear guard most of the time. Although there's those times, since you're also running Glory Maelstrom, where it's dead and it's just an 8k rear guard, and it's really depressing. But when you do have the Transcore, either on Vanguard or rear guard, it's an 11k rear guard, which is pretty great. Especially when before the break ride happens, you can just intercept with these as guard if you're going to end up on Glory and you don't have a Transcore to go through. It's pretty nice. And just because I like her, I still run 1 Valeria. I would definitely advise switching this out for something like a Lucas, but yeah, that's just me. I just like to ride it if it's not a Titan of the Beam rifle, which is an 8k. I would also consider switching out the Titans for Basil just for the turn 2 or grade 2 rush, but I'm not too big a fan since all the Vanguards are 11k now. I run 3 Transcore Dragons. It's the break ride. It's what you'd normally want to ride, and I can't really say much. It just is what kind of makes the whole Glory Maelstrom Transcore play kind of deadly, because if you guys, well, you guys should know what it does, but if you don't know what it does, limit break or break ride effect plus 10,000 to your Vanguard, and if they don't discard a card when you attack, it goes critical and they cannot guard at all. So they're forced to drop a card out of their hand, and if you break right on top of Glory Maelstrom, which I run 3 of, Glory Maelstrom's ultimate break, counter blast when it attacks, gets plus 5,000, and your opponent cannot guard with anything but grade zeros, so they need a lot of grade zeros in their hand to be able to guard the over 30,000 power with not accounting for triggers. So yeah. And the last grade 3, I want to run Diamantes because it hits 11s, and it's one of those cards where you keep putting pressure if they don't get rid of it, because when you attack, its skill activates, it switches with the rear guard behind it. So if you have something like Glory Maelstrom on rear guard, you have to make them waste a 5k shield for this, if they even have it, and another 5k shield, or maybe even 10k shield if you get a trigger and put it to there. So it's pretty nice to have the one copy. A couple times I actually have rode the Diamantes and still managed to win. Mostly because of my trigger lineup. I run the 4 heal triggers, pretty standard. I like to heal. I tried 16 crit, or just 16 anything. I even went with stands before when I was playing Revon, but yeah. So 4 crits. You need to run 4 of these if you're gonna run crits, because they're the put to soul and unflip a damage. So if you get greedy with your Lucases, you can put them into soul and unflip a damage for it, so you can still Glory Maelstrom late game. I run 4 Mothership Intelligence. I just like the art on this. I run 2 Battleship Intelligence for more crits, and then 2 Jet Ski Riders. This way it looks like you could be running 16 crit, so they actually don't know your crit count. But unless your heals pop up, it kind of ruins the surprise. But yeah. I run 12 crit 4 heal. It's for the late game pressure with Glory Maelstrom, because people like to no guard if they're at 4 and can't afford it if they don't have the shield, so it increases the chance of you getting that crit on the final attack. Or if you're feeling gutsy and go all on the Vanguard, you get the double crit. It's a great feeling. But yeah, that's my deck. Let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything, or suggestions. See you guys.